couple of months ago or so, I made a video, you about the advantages of being single. And I just felt like, I wanted to say a few things to clarify my position on this. Alright, so, first of all, I just want to explain what my purpose was. It wasn't to to convince as many of you as possible to stay single or become single. No, that's not what I intended with that. My intention was simply to prove that it's not like, a death sentence or something to be single. It's not always so bad. It doesn't have to be so terrible. I mean, but it all depends on what type of person you are, alright? I know there are some people who just can't be alone, and I understand that 100%. I understand that. I mean, they have a fear of being alone and unloved and, not unwanted and stuff like that. I mean, they start feeling unwanted if they are single for a longer period of time, right? They cannot find someone to be with, which is who is right for them. So they start feeling like that. Yeah, I'm never gonna find anybody again, and I'm gonna die alone and nonsense like that. But so that's why I'm saying you should not like necessarily go for that lifestyle, single lifestyle. Unless of course you have a fear of commitment or things like that, fear of intimacy. There are some people even who have fear of being really intimate. I mean, with somebody, especially emotionally intimate. If you will, if you understand me well. Yeah, I mean, I just think that, of course, there are some big pros to being in a relationship with somebody. Like you are not alone. I mean, you are not, you don't lack that kind of, I mean, your love life is there. You have a love life, you have a sex life. So those two are, of course, big pros, big advantages about being with someone in a relationship. But with everything else, there are also downsides, of course. So as I already said in my previous video. So those downsides can also be quite big, actually. You are in a relationship with somebody that doesn't understand you really, that doesn't know how to, treat you right if you are, especially if you are a female. That usually goes for women. With men, they don't, when you say that don't treat you right, it's kind of, always brings associations to men treating women badly. But it doesn't have to be, of course, necessarily. It can be also the other way around sometimes. There are plenty of instances where women are like bossing their men around, in a relationship and or a marriage, whatever. Not really respecting them or thinking highly of them as men because they let themselves, being bossed around. But then you have the other kind of situation if you don't let yourself be bossed around. The woman takes it as, oh, he's being a bully now. So there's always that kind of, dynamics in a relationship, and of course, as I said, sometimes, very often, the first year or so is the best in a relationship, and that's when everything is, I mean, as good as it can be, right? but eventually, things start kind of sometimes, especially if it's not, if there isn't such a really strong emotional bond between the two, things can really go downhill quite soon, quite quickly after that. I think we are, many of us are actually not really realistic when it comes to this. We are basing our relationship very often according to our own kind of ideals and also even fantasies that are not realistic always. We are actually judging our partner according to a specific ideal rather than looking at her or him as just another person, normal person, which has his flaws and faults and bad and good sides, right? So if and when that person shows those bad sides, of course you get disappointed, right? Because she or he failed to live up to your ideals, right? So that's kind of hard to accept, especially at first. But yeah, um, it's just something that you have to, um, you know, as they like to say here, you have to bite the sour apple. That's the way it is. If you want to, and but very often, I would say, especially in today's in the Western society, very often that exactly leads to breakups and even divorces, if you will, sometimes. But especially it goes for relationships, not so much marriages, because if you have come as far uh, that far that you married someone, unless it was a rushed marriage, of course, then it means that you have already, accepted that person's, you know, bad sides and flaws. So, but in a relationship, very often, yeah, it comes to an end because one of or both sometimes people in that relationship cannot accept that person is not really as how they wanted her or him to be, or how they envisioned that person in a perfect, like unrealistic kind of fantasy. So, I mean, yeah, of course, it also depends. Some people don't are more realistic than others, of course. But I think here in the Western society, there's a lot of, a lot of such kind of fantasy, like illusions about, you know, based on actually a lot of it is based on romantic cliches that we get from movies, for instance, or TV shows or stuff like that. So we see that, we like that, and we want, our life to be like that also, very often. It sounds kind of, naive, but it's not really. It's actually what happens to many people that they base their love life on, something that's not really realistic, base their ideals when it comes to, yeah, being in love and yeah. So I mean the whole thing about this, the whole idea about being in love is not always about being down to earth. Also, I would say it's a feeling that comes from, yeah, I mean, loving someone really and being in love are two different things, right? I think many people now know that because to love someone is of course to know them completely and to accept everything that is good or bad about them, right? To love the good sides so much that you accept the bad sides. Yeah, but today there are so many marriages also that are based on some other things, than love, simply like material things. So that's why I think rather stay unmarried for the rest of my life rather than enter a marriage just for the sake of like she gets you know money and whatever from me I get what I get from her. So that's how it often works. I'm afraid. I have noticed now. I mean, you have people here also that go over to those countries like Thailand or Philippines. Not just here, everywhere in Europe, everywhere where the standard is good enough. Anyway, people go over there, they find somebody. She's so thrilled to come. She'll do everything to live here. So that's why she marries you, right? You don't even ask if she really loves you, or not. But I just don't get that stuff. I mean, it's impossible that they are all of those marriages are based on love. No way, man. No. So yeah, I mean, I'd rather stay a doomed idealist and a romantic than enter a marriage that is not based on emotions, on feelings, and is based on interests and needs. And needs are very often today what marriages are based on, believe it or not. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's so much more I need to say. So that's why I think sometimes there isn't anything better to do. You cannot find the right one for you, or you think you have found her, but she proved to be just somebody you don't really want to be with, and so then it's better just to stay single and find comfort in other things. Yeah, sad. It's sad. I admit it's sad. Ideally, everybody should have a love life. If not a marriage, then at least somebody to love, right, in a romantic way. But not everybody can, right? Simple as that. So yeah. So that's why I think sometimes the better solution is to be single than in a relationship. I mean, just not to be alone, out of fear of being alone. I mean, if it really is so hard, such a big deal for you, then all right, do it. Be with somebody, just not to be alone. So you find out how that works, and but I'm afraid it's not really a solution. It's rather better to just handle that, get some help around that, so somebody who can teach you how to, you know, be fine about being alone, right? At least until you eventually maybe find somebody to, share your life with that is good enough for you. So that's about it, what I think about that. My final thoughts on being single and not being single. Thank you.